fight the silent room. The air had carved a kind of tune, but not for death, not grief too loud, just space where she no longer bowed. I sat and let the daylight fade, and felt the shape that silence made. The quiet took me like rain takes stone, not with a crash, but slow and known. It didn't ask, it didn't plead, it just became the way to be. No voice, no key, the quiet took me, and there somehow she stayed with me. I found her breath in stillborn hours, in dust that danced on window flowers. She wasn't gone, she wasn't near, she lived in pause, not sound or tear. And every sigh I used to stall now answered like a ghosted call. The quiet took me with patient hands. No tide, no storm, no bold demands. Just hush where memories unfold, like paper thoughts too soft to hold. No need to flee. The quiet took me and wrapped her name around my sleep. Some try to fill the empty space, I chose to let it show her face. For in the hush I hear her best, the words she left, the rest, the rest. The quiet took me and I gave in. Not loss, not lack, but soft within. I closed the door, turned off the light, and found her there without a fight. No need to see. The quiet took me and made her absence feel complete. She closed the door but left no sound, just shifted air and settled ground. The clock still ticks the way it did, but echoes louder where she hid. Each room retains her turning glance, like silence waiting for a dance. Echoes in her wake, not loud enough to break, but strong enough to stretch the walls and whisper through these empty halls. No shake, no quake, just echoes in her wake, and every step I take still stalls. Her mug remains upon the sill. The tea long cold, the window still. A book half read with dog-eared page still hums with her, still holds her stage. I try to speak, but breath won't bend, for echoes do not comprehend. Echoes in her wake, the sound the silence makes when someone leaves but won't let go of all the things they used to know. No give, no take, just echoes in her wake, and haunting like the dusk will show. She's gone in body, not in tone. She's absence that I walk alone. And every word I think to say returns in her forgotten way. Echoes in her wake, like footsteps I mistake for hers, though I've long known the truth. The air still smells of borrowed youth. No song to fake, just echoes in her wake, and I've grown used to her ache. She stood beneath the amber sky, a shadow drawn before goodbye. Her hands were calm, her breath was low. The world turned slow, but she let go. I thought she'd pause or turn around, but silence held its sacred ground. She walked past dusk, beyond the glow, where day forgets the things we know. No lanterns lit, no voices call, just evening leaves that slowly fall. No rush, no husk, she walked past dusk and left me watching shadows grow. The porch light burned my coffee cool. The birds had hushed, the crickets ruled. I watched her fade into the blend of fading blue that marked the end. The orange left her hair like flame, then vanished with no one to name. She walked past dusk like parting air, too soft to grasp, too real to bear. The trees all leaned but made no sound, as if they knew she wouldn't turn around. No ask, no must, she walked past dusk, and I just froze and stood right there. They say dusk is where love lingers, a twilight trace on tired fingers. But some walk through and don't look back, and leave you staring at the black. No ask, no musk, she walked past dusk, and I just froze and stood right there. They say dusk is where love lingers, a twilight trace on tired fingers. But some walk through and don't look back, and leave you staring at the black. She didn't shout, she didn't cry, she didn't even say goodbye. But when she left, the room would shake, like something real began to break. No thunder rolled, no glasses broke, just silence speaking every stroke. Her silence was loud, like midnight in a crowd, like breath you hold and can't explain, like thunder after sudden rain. No curse allowed, her silence was loud, and I still hear it through the shroud. I played her songs, I stirred the tea, I filled the room with noise and plea, but nothing softened what she spared. No argument, no heart declared. It wasn't rage that pulled her far, it was the hush between each scar. Her silence was loud, it echoed was loud, and still it lives within me since. They say the heart still keeps a trace of every smile, of every face. But in this room where we once lay, not even shadows choose to stay. The air is flat, the floor is dry, no whispers left, no echoes cry. Even her ghost fled. No hauntings in my bed, no creaking floor, no candle dim, no distant hum of phantom hymn, just space and dread. Even her ghost fled, like memory too tired to tread. I called her name into the night, but silence swallowed all the light. No chill upon the window pane, no voice that trembles in the rain. She didn't linger, didn't stay, not even dreams come through this way. Even her ghost fled, left not a thread. No perfume caught in linen folds, no glance behind the cupboard holes, no sign she bled. Even her ghost fled, like grief that simply chose instead. Some leave a mark in time's long spine, but she erased both hers and mine. I search in places most forget, but all I find is blank regret. Even her ghost fled, no visions overhead, just stillness deep enough to drown. No flickers dressed in tattered gowns, no voice I've wed. Even her ghost fled and left this house too dead to dread. There used to be her coat right there, hung soft beside the wooden chair. The scent of books, a laugh at noon, a humming low that filled the room. But now the air is clean and cold, like something sacred growing old. When the room forgot the shape her silence brought, no echo rang along the sill, No breeze returned her voice to fill, just time that fought when the room forgot. It let her go without a thought. The cushion rose, the curtains dried. The mirror gave no look to hide. The shadows once where she would stand have leveled out like even sand. And though I searched each drawer and tile, space refused to give a sign. When the room forgot, it emptied what was not. No photos blinked with secret code, no floorboard sighed beneath the load, no whisper caught. When the room forgot, it left me there with what it's not. Some walls hold tight to what they knew, but these let go as if they too were tired of names that wouldn't stay, of voices ghosted yesterday. When the room forgot, it turned without a blot, erased her footsteps from the door and begged me not to ask for more. No threat, no night, no night. When the room forgot, I understood what time had taught. She spoke so soft I had to lean, her voice a thread, a silken seam. But when she stopped, the room grew loud with things she never said aloud. Her final word was plain and small, but left to wait I can't recall. Beneath the sound she left were truths she never kept. A silence deeper than the note that clung like buttons on her coat. No scream, no theft, just sound she left, and what it buried in my chest. I play her voice on tape again, but all I hear is cold within. The way her breath would catch and pause like tides retreating from a cause. She didn't cry, she didn't plead, but left a wound that doesn't bleed. Beneath the sound she left were questions I still heft, like chords that hung without resolve, like poems time refused to solve. No tone, bereft, just sound. She left in silence stitched between each cleft. They say goodbye is shaped by tone, but hers left shadows not her own. And now the quiet hums her name through walls that haven't been the same. Beneath the sound she left, my heart still takes a breath, expecting echoes that won't come, just resonance that makes me numb. No voice, no cleft, just sound. She left, and all the truths she tucked beneath. Beneath the sound she left, my heart still takes a breath. It started where her shoulder turned, the golden sheen no longer burned. The way the sun once kissed her skin now faded soft and folded in. No sudden dark, no violent fall, just light retreating from the wall. Where the light undid, our warmth began to skid. No spotlight left on what we were, just shadows drifting out of blur. No lid, no bid. Where the light undid, we lost the glow we never hid. The corners used to shine with us, a radiance in every hush, but windows stopped their gentle play and let the color drain away. Her smile reflected less each time, like photos left in sun too long. Where the light undid, the love no longer slid between the cracks of daily grace, and just empty gold on silent space. No word amid. Where the light undid, we watched the morning slowly rid. I chased the beam across the floor, found it knocking on no door. And when she turned to say goodbye, the room forgot how light replies. Where the light undid was where her shadow hid. No spark remained for me to hold, just dust pretending to be gold. No cry truth was big. We sat in chairs too close to speak. The floorboards sighed beneath our feet. The tea had cooled, the clock stood still. No sound to chase, no voice to fill. The distance wasn't in the miles, but in the weight behind our smiles. Until the quiet sank like rain in riverbank. We didn't shout, we didn't cry, just watch the daylight wander by. No plan, no prank, until the quiet sank and took us both without a flank. The radio had lost its tune. The curtain swayed a sleepy swoon. She looked at me, then looked away, like words were ghosts that dared not stay. No candles burned, but still we knew that silence does what flames can't do. Until the quiet sank, we drifted slow and blank. Our fingers curled but didn't meet, like songs unfinished, incomplete. No draw, no yank, until the quiet sank and love went down without a thank. Some say the end comes loud and wide, but ours just slipped beneath the tide and left us standing side by side, like strangers in a shrinking ride. Until the quiet sank and left our ledger blank. No ink, no echo, just a hush that swept our names in one soft brush. No act, no rank, until the quiet sank and all that held us came uncranked. She used to lean upon the pane with morning light across her frame. The glass would fog where she would breathe, then clear with words she'd never leave. But now it only frames the trees. No silhouette, no warmth, no keys. What the window held has long since been dispelled. No trace of hand, no gaze remains, just light that bends through empty panes. No tale retell what the window held was gone before I even knelt. The curtain sways without her there, a dance with ghosts that left nowhere. And though the sun still finds its line, it doesn't catch what once was mine. The birds still fly beyond the glass, but none reflect the time we passed. What the window held no longer can be spelled. It kept her glance, her Sunday hum, her whispers soft as kettles drum. But now no meld. What the window held is just the sky where day once dwelled. They say that glass remembers shape, but even it can't hold escape. And so I sit and barely blink, as if the past could learn to sink. What the window held has quietly been shelled. No voice to press, no frame to trace, just silence dressed in outer space. No tear expelled. What the window held was all I lost but never felt. They say that glass remembers shape, but even it can't hold escape. And so I sit and barely blink, as if the past could learn to sink. No tear expelled. What the window held was all I lost but never felt. We stood between the open door. The words we knew had said no more. Her eyes looked down, my hands were still, a space too wide, a breath to fill. No argument, no final plea, just waiting on what couldn't be. Before the quiet spoke, we hung on every joke, like laughter might rewind the fall, like echoes might still scale the wall. No word we broke. Before the quiet spoke, we listened hard to all we choked. The floor was clean, the air was thin. I'd left but not walked in. She brushed her sleeve like dust from years. I smiled too soft to catch her tears. A clock somewhere had paused its tick, as if the end had one more trick. Before the quiet spoke, the moment nearly broke. I saw her mouth begin to part, but silence beat her to the start, too sharp to cloak. Before the quiet spoke, it told me more than hearts provoke. It told me more than some farewells land without a sound, but leave the loudest kind around. And when the hush begins to rise, it casts the truth we can't disguise. Before the quiet spoke, the room exhaled its smoke. She turned not fast but like a thread, unspooling words we never said, no dream we stoke. Before the quiet spoke, I knew what love could not revoke. She left no mark upon the chair, no scent of jasmine in the air, but stillness swept across the floor and painted shapes I can't ignore. No colors loud, no canvas white, just shadow sketches in the light. What the stillness drew was more than farewells do. It shaped the way the silence curled around the edges of my world. No clue, no cue. What the stillness drew was all she meant without a view. The mirror caught her not today, but framed the emptiness her way. A pillow leaned where dreams once fell, a lamp turned off but warm as well. Each quiet thing she never said now lives in corners of my bed. What the stillness drew was memory in hue, not in her voice, not in her name, and in the way the windows frame the love we knew. What the stillness drew were lines that time could not undo. Some endings ring like final bells, but others hum in softer spells. And when the room forgets her face, the silence sketches back her place. And what the stillness drew is all I still walk through. Not ghosts, not grief, just tender air that speaks of someone once so fair, too soft, too. What the stillness drew was her in everything I do.
She had a name like Sunday, soft and slow to say. Met her in a half-lit diner on a half-forgotten day. She stirred her coffee like a prayer, wrote poems in the steam, said I don't stay long anywhere, but I leave behind a dream. She was the kind that never stays, just a page in passing days. Left a note on my guitar case, just her name and not a trace. I still play that melody under skies that won't explain. She had a name like Sunday, now I only know the rain. We danced inside a laundromat to a radio half clear. She told me things I can't forget and laughed like she disappeared. I asked her where she came from. She said a place that's hard to miss, but folks don't stay too long there once they've tasted something like this. She was the kind that never stays, like a hymn that softly strays. Wrote her number on my matchbook, then watched it wash away. And though I found no final line, just her echo in refrain, she had a name like Sunday, now I only know the rain. Some hearts are made for silence, some for roar and flame. She was somewhere in between, and I was never quite the same. She was the kind that never stays, like dawn that fades in smoky haze. I kept the song, forgot the town, but I still see her when I drown. And though the years don't bring her back, her shadow still remains. She had a name like Sunday, and it falls with every rain. I wore that watch since I was 10, passed down from some forgotten friend. It ticked through storms and wedding vows, through coffee cups and late night rows. But sometime past 11:43, it froze while she walked out on me. A watch that stopped the night she left, No reason why, no gears bereft, just hands that chose to hold their place, like time refused to show its face. And though I wound it, begged and shook, it stayed right there like how she looked. A watch that stopped the night she left, still tied around my quiet chest. The second hand won't play along like all the lines in our old song. And though the frame is scratched and worn, it beats more truth than I've ever sworn. I took it in, the man just said, this kind of thing won't fix what's dead. A watch that stopped the night she left, won't march ahead, won't mourn what's next. It's stuck in what I didn't say, between her keys and Cadillac gray. And every time I check the time, it just reminds me she was mine. Some clocks are wound, some clocks are made to mark the nights we can't evade. And when they break, it isn't chance, it's fate refusing one more dance. A watch that stopped the night she left, still marks the loss I can't accept. It sits in drawers and midnight thoughts, amongst receipts and coffee spots. And though the world has moved ahead, it keeps the hour I last bled. A watch that stopped the night she left, still ticks in all I never said. The vacancy sign flickers blue and red, 12 parking spots, one half-lit bed, a coffee pot that don't quite brew, and curtains stained with other truths. The clerk just nods, no questions asked. Another face behind the glass. It's a night in a motel where no one asks your name, where silence feels like part of some old game. The walls are thin, the hours slow, and everything feels long ago. No past to haunt, no plans to claim, just a night in a motel with no name. The TV hums a preacher's voice, the vending machine gives you no choice. You eat alone beneath the glow, dreams that dim but never go. never find. It's a night in a motel where no one asks your name, where sorrow hangs like window pane. And though you'll leave at morning's light, you'll carry what you felt that night. No story told, no one to blame. Just a night in a motel in your name. There's a diner where the jukebox stalls, postcards fade on bathroom walls. The streets forget what day it is. The clock just hums and softly sits. The train rolls by, but no one waves. Just silence lined with window shades. It's a town where nobody says goodbye, where lovers leave but never cry. No waving hands, no final look, just names erased from checkout books. The doors don't slam, the lights stay dim, and time walks out on phantom limbs. A town where nobody says goodbye. They just stop calling, stop asking why. There's a porch swing creaking in the breeze, a mail slot stuffed with autumn leaves, and somewhere deep behind the glass, a woman watches seasons pass. The barber trims, the preacher speaks, but no one asks where someone sneaks. It's a town where nobody says goodbye, just disappears into the sky, like fog at dawn or dreams at 4. They leave their boots beside the door. No promises, no car alarms, just hollow steps and empty arms. Goodbye, they just go missing by and by. And maybe I belong right there, where silence hides in open air, where parting's not a thing you do. You just become someone they knew. It's a town where nobody says goodbye, where I once lived, so did I. No farewell notes, no candles blown, just one more shadow walking home. And if you find my voice goes dry, it's 'cause I lived like others tried. Says goodbye, just hearts that learn to not ask why. There's a clock above my window frame. It's cracked and chipped, but still the same. It doesn't tick from 9 to 5, just hums awake when dreams arrive. It stirs when streetlights start to glow, and moves where sunlight will not go. A clock that only works at night counts the moments out of sight. It ticks in silence, skips the day, wins in things I dare not say. It doesn't chime, it doesn't boast, it haunts the hours I miss the most. A clock that only works at night. Like all the truth I try to hide. I asked a friend to fix its gears. He laughed and said, it runs on years. But I know better, I've seen it spin. When old songs pull the dark within, it beats for ghosts and failed goodbyes, for second thoughts and sleepless skies. A clock that only works at night counts regrets in shadowed light. Each tick a name, each talk a plea, each midnight stroke a part of me. And though it's quiet through the dawn, it waits until my mask is gone. A clock that only works at night still keeps her time, though she's in flight. Some timepieces don't tell the hour, they hold the ache that once held power. And every hand that slowly turns reminds me of the love that burned. A clock that only works at night stays hidden from the world's bright spite. It keeps her laughing seconds lost, measures love not worth the cost. I wind it once, I let it rest against the silence in my chest. The clock that only works at night still knows the heart that beats repressed. He's got one lamb, one crooked blind, a coat hook with no coat to find. The key was left beneath the mat, still waiting where he placed it at. A note that said I'll come by June. But June just passed without a tune. It's the room he rented but never moved into, where sunlight paints the walls in blue. The bed untouched, the faucet dry, a silence you can't quite deny. The landlord asked, should I let go? But somehow still she didn't know the room he rented but never moved into feels more like truth than people do.
His boxes came by postal van, full of books, a worn out pen. But nothing else came through the door. No suitcase voices, steps at 4, just dust that settled slow and kind, like someone changed a fragile mind. It's the room he rented but never moved into, with one burned bulb and laces too. His name still sits on mailbox brass, like hope that stretches out too fast. He might have meant to start again, but not all ghosts know where or when. The room he rented but never moved into waits like a life he almost knew. Some places hold what never was, a promise paused without a cause. And rooms like this, they softly weep for stories no one got to keep. It's the room he rented but never moved into, where dreams hung on a rusty screw. The curtain sways with phantom breath, as if he left instead of death. No one came to claim the key, but that small room remembers he, the one who almost passed straight through the room he rented and never knew. Some places hold what never was, a promise paused without a cause. And rooms like this, they softly weep for stories no one got to keep. No one came to claim the key.
I changed the bulb last New Year's Eve, though no one said they planned to leave. You packed one bag, you shut the door, but left your sweater near the floor. I swept the step, I made the bed, didn't touch the words you said. And the porch light stayed on through every dusk, through every dawn, like some small flame that won't give in, still shining where you might have been. Neighbors asked if you'd return. I just smiled and let it burn. The porch light stayed on, even when all else was gone. The dog still waits at 10:30, like you might round that bend again. The swing still creaks when no one sits, like memory tugging at its bits. I almost turned it off one night, but couldn't make that feel quite right. So the porch light stayed on, like a stubborn, quiet song. say some lights are just for show, but some are love that doesn't know how to dim or say it's done. Even when it's lost the sun. And the porch light stayed on long after all signs had withdrawn. It never asked for reason why, it only knew how not to die. And if you ever pass this place, that little bulb will know your face. The porch light stayed on, like the part of me that never moved on. The porch still leans the way it did when you leaned back and softly hid a cigarette, a bitten smile. Your words hung there for just a while, and though the steps are cracked and worn, the space still breathes the way you're gone. Rain fell where you stood, not on the grass, not on the wood, but right where you once said my name. Like heaven tried to frame the blame. The drops hit hard, the wind turned slow, as if the sky refused to know. Rain fell where you stood, like it understood, like it understood. The garden tried to bloom that year, but soil forgot what roots hold dear. The fence you leaned on won't align, it tilts like time forgot its spine. And every April smells like then, but never brings you back again. Rain fell where you stood, in that old coat with hidden hood. It hit the earth like half goodbyes, like poems lost in lullabies. I watched it pour and didn't run, just stared until the clouds were done. Rain fell where you stood, and nothing else could. They say the sky don't pick its place, but I swear it knew your shape, your face. And though the storm is come and gone, that patch of ground still reigns alone. Rain fell where you stood, not anywhere the way it should. It didn't care for roof or shade, it only knew the mark you made. And now when storms come rolling slow, I watch that spot still take the blow. Rain falls where you once stood, and I still would. We follow roads as far they'd bend, past wooden signs that had no end, through cornfield skies and desert moons, with hearts like half-forgotten tunes. You said, beyond here no one knows, but still we drove where silence grows, where the maps fade out, where no one talks and no one shouts, just wind and fence posts leaning right, no city lines, no motel light. We reached the edge where paper stops and left our names on weathered rocks, where the maps fade out, we learn what life's about. We lost the signal, lost the song, but somehow didn't feel it wrong. Your hand was warm, your eyes were wide, like someone seeing from inside. We slept beneath a cedar tree and woke to birds that spoke like sea, where the maps fade out, no route to trace, no planned reroute. The stars became our only code as morning climbed an unnamed road. No border drawn, no time to spare, just you and me in open air, where the maps fade out, we stop pretending doubt. Most folks stay where roads are short, but some hearts need the vague, the blur, and every love that won't survive still dreams of where it comes alive, where the maps fade out, where trust is more than knowing how, where days aren't measured by a mile, but by the way behind a smile. I never asked if you'd stay true, I just kept walking next to you, where the maps fade out was where I found you. You stopped laughing weeks before the suitcase ever touched the floor. You stopped calling me your light long before our final fight. And though your boots still lined the mat, your soul had slipped, I noticed that. I stayed, you left first, in silence shaped like something cursed. You stood right there, but not the same, a shadow dressed up in my name. I held the frame, you kept the dust. I stayed for love, you stayed for trust, but I stayed, and you left first. A soft departure, unrehearsed. We made the bed, but not the vow. You kissed my cheek, but not somehow the way you did when we were flame. Now every spark avoids my name. I watched you drift while staring still, and called that love by force. So will I stay? You left first, in little words that once conversed. You drank the wine but not the toast. You walked beside but not that close. And when the night came cold and slow, I reached for warmth you didn't show. Yes, I stayed and you left first. That's what absence does at worst. Some people leave by walking out, but you left like a drying shout, like pages fading while still read, like saying home and choosing instead. I stayed, you left first. No slam door, no spoken burst, just drifting breath and backward eyes, and all our truths in small disguise. Now I sleep where you once turned, still feeling all the things you burned. I stayed, you left first, and maybe that's what I deserved. We sat too close that autumn night, you in corduroy, me in quiet. The kettle whistled but we stayed in silences we never weighed. I saw the flicker in your glance, but neither moved to take the chance. We never lit that fire, though the room begged with desire. The logs were stacked, the match was near, but both of us held back the fear. We smiled like friends who almost knew, but didn't dare to see it through. We never lit that fire, but it still warms me when nights tire. You told me things you'd never shared, like someone testing if I care. And I replied in half-formed notes, as if we walked on frozen boats. The flame was there, the kindling dry, but love needs more than just a try. We never lit that fire, though hearts lean close, a bit inspired. You brushed my sleeve, I held my breath, but let it pass like spoken death. And though we laughed and drank our tea, the air still cracked with what could be. We never lit that fire, but I still feel its phantom choir. Some flames don't burn, they just exist. highways, hated rain. Said leaving towns just felt like shame. She liked her coffee near the stove, her music soft, her footsteps slow. But yesterday the tank was full, and all her doubts turned quiet dumb. She never drove this far, never chased a dying star. The map untouched, the tires clean, but now they hum like in a dream. No breadcrumb trail, no backward glance, just one last key, one final chance. She never drove this far, but now she's miles beyond my heart. She used to freeze at yellow lights and turn around on stormy nights. Said bridges scared her to the bone, but now she drives and drives alone. No phone call sent, no station played, just open roads and love mislaid. She never drove this far, never passed the county bar. She left her coat, her favorite cup, but took the will to not give up. And though her past was filled with stay, she found the nerve to look away. She never drove this far until the day she broke apart. Some leave fast, some leave slow, some you never think will go, but quiet hearts still find a lane when holding on becomes a chain. She never drove this far, never pushed the door ajar, but freedom comes with wind and speed, and sometimes fear is what we need. So if you see a car pass by with tear-drenched eyes beneath the sky, she never drove this far, but now she knows how far scars are. The sheets don't crease the way they used, no pillow leans like once they mused. Your side is cold, the scent is gone, just cotton ghost where dreams held on. I lay the same but somehow still, the bed no longer bends to will. The bed forgot our shape, like sand that smoothed the castle's drape, like how a song fades in a refrain, once sung now lost in window pane. It used to cup where you would curl, but now it's just a stranger's world. The bed forgot our shape, like time erased the place we draped. headboard creaks but not in tune. It used to hum like late June moon. The blanket falls without your side, like silence learning where to hide. And I still reach at 2 a.m., but shadows don't remember them. The bed forgot our shape, no hollow left for hearts to drape. The mattress stiff from too much still, where once we rolled, now no such thrill. I try to dream in spots you knew, but sleep avoids the shape of you. The bed forgot our shape, and in its form I feel escape. Some spaces hold, some slowly fade, like names the morning light betrays. And even softness grows unkind when left too long by love's design. The bed forgot our shape, no curve, no dip, no shared escape. Just linen smooth by weeks alone, and whispers stitched in undertone. I lay beside what once was us, now just a frame collecting dust.